Every day, hackers are trying to break into your computer systems, your network, to access your data, perhaps hold it hostage. How do you protect yourself? I'm Bryan Longworth, host of A Faster PC Live Technical Support. Coming up next, I'll discuss the biggest threats that we're seeing, as well as what these threats do and what you can do to protect yourself. There's a Google Chrome vulnerability that has led to espionage campaigns. Google has addressed a significant security flaw in its Chrome browser, which was actively exploited in cyber espionage attacks. This is why it's so important to get out there and get the updates installed as soon as possible. A little bit later in this video, I'll actually show how to update Google Chrome and also talk about how we can automate that as well. But what is happening in this? The exploit was a part of a campaign dubbed Operation Forum Troll. So what is happening in this? Victims were lured through phishing emails containing invitations to a forum. The security update version 134.0.6998.178 is being rolled out to Windows users in the stable desktop channels. Users are advised to update their browser promptly to safeguard against potential threats. Last week, we told you about the ClickFix threat, and this week, we're telling you that it has been successfully exploited. Some people didn't listen to this show, didn't watch this show. If they had, it might have protected them. But ClickFix threat actually led to over 100 car dealerships supply chain attack, which actually affected their potential clients. Cyber criminals compromised a website of over 100 car dealerships by infiltrating LES Automotive, a leading provider of video services to these dealerships. Instead of displaying vehicle videos, the attackers redirected visitors to a fake CAPTCHA page. You know those CAPTCHA pages where you have to prove you're not a robot? Well, these are fake CAPTCHA pages. We warned you about this last week, and what happens is when you go to one of these fake pages, it instructs you to actually copy commands and then run specific keyboard shortcuts and paste those commands and run those, which actually what it does is it actually installs malware. In this case, the malware was called Sectop Rat, and that was installed on individuals' computers. Again, going to a dealership to watch a video about a car, and all of a sudden they're prompted to prove they're not a robot, and the proof is that they can copy this code, and what it does is it infects their computer. So once infected with malware, this actually can steal sensitive data, including cryptocurrency wallet credentials. To protect against this threat, you should actually be very cautious with unusual CAPTCHA requests. They should be the normal type, where you're picking out all the buses or picking out all the traffic lights or something like that, or where you're typing a series of letters and numbers that are displayed on the page. But do not ever copy code and then use keyboard shortcuts, which actually, unbeknownst to a lot of people, they're running that and installing this malware. So be very cautious, and also update your software regularly to make sure that you're protected against these threats. Windows passwords are under attack in a new zero-day threat. Now, a zero-day threat, what it is, it's a threat that by the time it's discovered, it's already being exploited by hackers. So this is a newly discovered zero-day vulnerability that poses a significant risk to Windows users by enabling attackers to steal password hashes without user interaction. This flaw currently lacks an official patch, allowing malicious actors to capture NTLM password hashes, potentially leading to unauthorized access and further exploitation. To mitigate this threat, users are advised to disable NTLM where feasible, enforce the use of complex, unique passwords, and remain vigilant against phishing attempts. Also, having a system, password access management system, that can automatically reset the passwords of admin accounts is also useful in protecting against this. Implementing network segmentation and monitoring systems for unusual activity can also reduce the risk associated with this vulnerability. There's a new campaign targeting Mac OS users. Cyber criminals have launched a sophisticated phishing campaign targeting Mac OS users. Initially aimed at Windows users, the attacks have shifted focus to Mac systems because Microsoft has installed additional security measures, as well as major browsers have taken additional security measures that have stopped the phishing attacks on Windows-based systems. Not that you're not going to have phishing attempts on Windows-based systems, but this particular threat actually has moved to Mac because of security enhancements made to Windows systems and to the browsers that are commonly used on Windows-based systems. So the hackers are employing deceptive tactics, such as fake security alerts on compromised websites, claiming the user's computer is compromised and locked. Victims are prompted to enter their credentials, while malicious code freezes the page to simulate a system lockdown. These phishing pages are often hosted on trusted platforms, making them appear legitimate and harder to detect. To protect against such threats, users should verify the authenticity of security alerts, avoid entering credentials on suspicious sites, keep their systems updated with the latest security patches, and implement cyber awareness training so that your employees can actually discover and identify fake websites or suspicious websites. Hackers are using Microsoft's .NET MAUI for attacks. Cyber criminals are exploiting Microsoft's .NET multi-platform app UI, known as NET MAUI, framework to distribute sophisticated Android malware. So this would affect Android phones, Android tablets. This approach allows malicious code to be concealed within seemingly legitimate applications, making detection by traditional antivirus solutions more challenging. Notably, these threats store their core functionality as binary blobs within assemblies, bypassing conventional Android app component analysis. One observed tactic involves multi-stage dynamic loading, where encrypted DEX files are loaded in stages to obscure the malicious payload. Additionally, attackers manipulate the Android manifest.xml file by adding excessive, meaningless permissions to disrupt analyst tools and utilize encrypted TCP socket communications to evade network traffic interception. To mitigate these risks, users are advised to exercise caution when downloading applications from unofficial sources, particularly in regions with limited access to official app stores, and ensure that robust security measures are in place. We're going to go over the top 3 Microsoft Office hacks to be on the lookout for. Hackers are increasingly using Microsoft Office documents to trick users into downloading malware in 2025. These attacks often begin with phishing emails that include Word or Excel files, disguised as legitimate invoices or reports. Once opened, the documents can exploit known vulnerabilities, which allow malicious code to run without the user doing anything else. Another common method is the Folina exploit, which abuses a diagnostic tool in Windows to launch malware just by opening the file. Even though these flaws are not new, many systems remain unpatched, making them easy targets. To stay safe, users should keep Office updated. Be wary of unexpected attachments and use security tools to detect suspicious files. There's a VMware vulnerability that has led to authentication bypass. Broadcom has released security updates to address a high severity authentication bypass vulnerability in VMware tools for Windows. This flaw arises from improper access control mechanisms, allowing low privileged local attackers to exploit their privileges within virtual machines, VMs. Specifically, a malicious actor with non-administrative privileges on a Windows guest VM could perform certain high-privileged operations without proper authentication. The vulnerabilities affect VMware Tools version 12.x.x and 11.x.x for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. Users are advised to update to VMware Tools version 12.5.1 to mitigate this issue. While there is no indication that this flaw has been exploited in the wild, promptly applying the updates is recommended to ensure system security. These types of threats are critical, and it's important that you are aware of these threats and taking proactive measures to address them. And coming up next, I'm going to show you how you can install the updates to Google Chrome if you haven't done so already. I'm going to switch over to a full screen, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to load Chrome. I have Chrome open already, and in Chrome we're going to click on the three dots. We're going to go down to Settings and click, and then we're going to go to About Chrome. And what this is going to do is going to check for updates. If there are updates available, it'll give you the option to update. You see that my Chrome is up to date. The reason it's up to date is because we have a script, and we do this for our managed clients. We actually are looking for updates to Windows twice a day. We're looking for updates to programs like Chrome, Google Chrome, Firefox, Zoom, 7-Zip, Adobe Reader. There's been 0-day threats on all of these, and we actually are looking for updates to those on average every 4 hours. So if the update is available, it'll get downloaded. When the program is closed and reopened, it'll be installed at that point. So again, you want to make sure that your Google Chrome is updated to protect yourself against the threats that we mentioned earlier in this show. If you're out there and you're saying, hey, you know what, this sounds very confusing, I don't really understand all this, I don't know how to deal with this, listen, you're in the right place. You need a faster PC. Give us a call, 772-878-5978, 772-878-5978. We can help you implement sound security measures to protect yourself against these threats and to protect your computers. And remember, when you have cybersecurity problems, you need a faster PC.